Hello everyone, we're here with another new video talking about the topics of figures. Now this is actually kind of what I went on about in my Android 18 video. By the way, I managed to get my mic sorted. For some reason the AMD decided to unbuckle my mic, like it changed my mic to my headset for some reason. So here we are though, I did manage to get my mic back. But this, when I talked about this in my Android 18 video, how I spoke for like an hour talking about different third parties, different figures, not just Android 18. I talk about Omega Shenron, I talk about other females, I talked about Super Saiyan 4, I talked about demonical fits and dimensions, I talk about Goku Black, I talked about so many different figures. Now this is what this video is about. It's about one of the things, and it's about the heights of Super Saiyan 4 and why they're a little bit rough. So here it is. Now I actually did a Facebook post about this and I explained this in our Android 18 video. Well, the original video, like before I had to re-record it 2 more times and stuff, when I rambled for an hour. But this is the awkward thing about the heights. Now this is a very rough put together. I was originally going to use AI, which I know people don't like AI, so I decided to put in the time and effort to do this. It took me a lot of time, so please, I'm sorry it's rough, but you have to understand, I'm trying to take photos from online, I'm trying to properly put them together. So here we go, here it goes. What's my issue with the height? I see loads of people saying demonical fit is better, and this is why, and it's either to do with the skinniness or the heights of akmione and stuff, but I thought, let's lay everything out in this video, and hopefully the people who see it understand. Maybe other people can hop and join in. But how should I start this? This is the thing. How should I start and structure this? Well, first off, let's start with, why on earth are you down here? Why is this? I accidentally must have copied and pasted this a lot. Let me just whip out off screen. Let's talk about Vegeta. So SHF's Vegeta Super Saiyan 4 is about 5.1 inches, which I think is the perfect height kind of for him. Technically not. If anything, it would make more sense for his base form to be shorter. But here we go. This is why inaccuracies are weird. So for example, Vegeta's about, what, 5'3", 5'4", so his natural figures, his default figures is Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3, his base form should be about 5.3, 5.4 inches, while Super Saiyan 4 should be about 5.5, 5.6 inches. But as you can see, they actually made him about 5.1 inches, so they actually made him shorter. I do still like the figure, and I still think it's a really good height for Vegeta. But I just wanted to show out inaccuracy. But I still love Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. I think it's one of the best Super Saiyan 4 figures. I love Vegeta and Super Saiyan 4. He just looks cool. But I thought I would show that as the first inaccuracy. I do still love it. I think he's the most perfect, but he is underheighted. There we go. He's too short. But let's go on to the really big main issues when we're scaling figures, because it's really awkward, and we'll talk about SHF Goku. Let's talk about SHF Goku because that makes the most sense, because he's the main fucking culprit. SHF Goku is about 5.9 inches. That is way too short for a Super Saiyan 4 Goku. If you didn't know, Super Saiyan 4 Goku in the anime of GT is about 6'6". He's a fucking giant. He's about 6'6", big ass meat. So he should genuinely, if we're scaling it like that, how I am saying, he should be 6.6 inches. He's the height of like, he's a giant. Okay, shockingly, he's like the height of Broly. Z Broly's base form, I think. I think Z Broly's about 6.7, 6.8, 6'8", 6'7". So he's about the same height as that, which is crazy. But obviously, you can't have a figure be that tall because it's too big for your dioramas, so you scale it down a bit, which is fine. So Super Saiyan 4 Goku being about 6'5", 6'6", you would think his figure is about 6.5, 6.6 inches, but that's too tall for the dioramas. So let's scale it down a bit. In my opinion, the Super Saiyan 4 Goku should be about 6.1 inches. 6.1 inches. He's currently 5.9 inches, which is already underheighted. But I think because we can't actually, if we actually put him at about 6.6 inches, he's going to be way too tall and it's going to be awkward for other characters because dioramas and stuff. So, but if we were to put him at 6.6 inches, Vegeta needs to be about 5.7 inches, 5.6 inches. That's just a say, by the way. But my whole thing though, especially is with Goku, if I'm a figure company, I'm making, because you have to make them a bit smaller just for your dioramas and setups, Goku, make him like 6.1 inches, maybe 6.2 inches instead. Okay? Currently, the SHF one is 5.9. Sorry if this is really messy and it's hard for me to accumulate what to talk about because I wasn't too sure how to structure this because there's so much weird back and forth things. But now we look at the demonical fit. Demonical fits, and ignore the picture. The picture is horrible. It's from a weird angle. It's just a photo I found online. But he is taller, and as you can see on the other side of the screen over here, we also have the demonical fit one, which I believe is demonical fit. It's the same height. So, demonical fits is about 5.95 to about 5.10 inches. I believe it's more 5.95 because it's slightly taller. It's not a whole centimetre taller. So I would say it's 5.95, which I do like. I love that the demonical fit made him taller because he should be taller. SHF, Tamashi, they did him too short. So I am happy the demonical fit made him taller, which is what he should be. But even then, he's actually still too short. I know, shocking. He's actually still too short. He should not be 5.95 either. As I said, he should be the very minimum, because as I said, you have to dial him back. If they actually make him 6.6 inches, people will complain that he's too fucking tall, and it might mess up their dioramas and displays. So, dial it down a bit. You know, if a person's 7 foot, instead of making them 7 inches, make them maybe like 6.7 inches, 6.8 inches. If a person is 6 foot, instead of making them 6 inches, maybe make them 5.10 inches, 5.9 inches. Dial it back just a smidge. Maybe. But demonical fits should also be about 6.1 inches. As I've been saying, about 6.1 to 6.2 inches should be what Super Saiyan 4 Goku should be. And now we're going into we'll go into the issue of the, actually I'll quickly, as you can see, the Vegeta. So I try to roughly thingy Vegeta's shoulder caps, like the delts. So his delts go up to about his chest, the top of his widow's peak goes up to about Goku's neck. I think that's good. So I actually do like that. But you're probably like, well, if you like that, what is the point of changing the heights? Because then he'll be way too thingied. I agree, but then that's why Vegeta should be taller as well. Even though I do think Vegeta is really nice at his height, he should be taller as well. That's why if they make, as I'm saying, if I'm and I'll explain it all at the very end. I'll do like the big layout at the end. So if you want, skip to the end, the last maybe like 2-3 minutes, and then boom, and you'll hear my like final thoughts. So yeah, he's an awkward height. Now we've got Kamiones. Now Kamiones Gogeta is underheighted as well. Now, a lot of people seem to forget this, but a Fusion is shorter than Goku. I don't care what people say. Even in Super Saiyan 4, the Fusion is shorter. Like, in the canon of Goku and GT being about 6'5", 6'6", Gogeta, the Fusion, Gogeta Super Saiyan 4, he's about 6'2", 6'3"-ish. Okay? And this will come nice in a minute. And then, as we can see, his forehead level goes to about the eye level of demonical fit. And the way I got at was I managed to get some comparison photos of a company that put them both together, of like a fan that got both of them. Now, we're on to demonical fit height. Now, I think demonical fit height for I'm happy that it's taller. I'll say that. I'm happy that it's taller. I still think it should be a smidge taller, but I am very, very much happy. I think it's about 5.95 to about 5'10", roughly about 5.95, because it's the same height as their Goku. On the far right here, that's also demonical fits Goku, by the way. It's just to like put them on either side so you can see it compared to SHF's Goku and their normal demonical fit figure. So here is but this is also an issue that the demonical fit have done. Why are they the same height? This is a no-no. Now, demonical fit, to my knowledge, they are remaking this Goku later this year, maybe going into next year, because they're reissuing it in a more simplified version, so it's cheaper but better. Now, if they're doing that, and if they somehow hear this video, make him taller. So, demonical fits Super Saiyan 4 Goku is about 5.95 inches to 5'10". I believe it's 5.95 though. He needs to be way up. He needs to be about 6.1 inches. His hair, his hair here should be all the way up to like the F, the bottom of the F that I've drawn up here. He should be much, much, much taller at the very minimum. And that's kind of, and that's where a lot of people are just angry with the way Akmione have made the figures and demonical, but nobody's really talked about how SHF are also at fault in this. Now, I did a Facebook post that gained a lot of traction on Facebook talking about how people need to stop comparing them to the SHF because it's just never going to work because of the inaccuracies, and how you should actually be asking, like, why did SHF do it too small? Now, if I'm going to empty a empty box just so I can help scale this. I'm going to use which color, which I'll use like a brightish whitish blue. So overall, this is how the height should be if we're scaling properly. Well, Goku, these boys, Super Saiyan, demonical fits and SHF. Super Saiyan 4 Goku, he should be, so he's currently, well, SHF 5.9, demonical about 5.95. He should be all the way to about 6 inches, 6.1, maybe even 6.2 inches, which would roughly, if this is 5.95, 5.1, so that's give or take, that's like up to here. Basically, yeah, this color's not working. Hold on. Let me get black, maybe. Black will work. Line size. Oh, transparency is messing up. Okay. So yeah. So if this right here is about 5.9, his hair, he's 5.95. I'm sorry for starting, but it's awkward to try and say. If he's 5.95, he should be about, I'll actually use red, fuck it. If demonical fits Goku is 5.95, and I want his height to be at least 6'2", his hair will probably be up to about, like, what, here-ish, which I think is much better. Now, for Gogeta, what should Gogeta's height be? Now, personally, I actually think Gogeta's height should be about just a smidge. It should be like the original Goku's height, so 5.95 to 5.910. So I actually think demonical fits Gogeta's height is perfect. I think it should stay the same. So I'm actually going to do a tick because I'm saying it stays the same. So that's a tick, right? This, and I'm going to do an X here to be like that's the wrong height, and it should be up air, and it should be lifted. Now we're on to Vegeta. Now Vegeta, if we're scaling them how they should be scaled, theoretically he should be taller as well. As I said, maybe a slight raise actually to Gogeta as well, just a slight one. But Vegeta, technically, as much as I do think he's perfect, he needs to be raised up a bit as well. He should roughly, his hair should be about just like an extra like 2-3 centimeters up. You know, like his, like, see, this is his widow's peak that I'm looking at. That's his widow's peak. His widow's peak should be about to here. It just needs to be up that amount, just a smidge. Akmione, same boat as demonical. It should be it should be up to about here. And then we all know this bad boys. This should be up to about here. So these are, the red lines up here are the original height. These are the heights where the figures should be. The red lines are what the height should be. As you see, the green height lines are just me comparing like the shoulders and stuff like that. I'll go in for a closer look so you guys can see everything of what I'm trying to convey and talk about, and hopefully you understand and stuff. It is a little hurtful because I love the Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. I think the SHF did a good job, but if we're trying to accurately fix the heights, and this is what he should be, he just needs to be an extra centimeter or two taller. Make him his original height, make him taller. It's just awkward. Now, I don't know the height of the new 3.0 Vegeta that's just came out. Dangerous Pride. Let me... Is it Dangerous Pride? Vegeta. What is the height? Let me actually check the height quickly. He's 5.3 inches. Wow. So, the new Vegeta, which is just his normal Super Saiyan form, is actually taller than Super Saiyan 4. See, that shouldn't be the case. If the new 3.0 Vegeta Super Saiyan is 5.3 inches, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta should be at least 5.5 inches, an extra 2 centimeters. At least, like, come on. He should be in 5.5 centimeters at least. Or make him at least, I guess, the same height-ish, or even like half a centimeter taller. Maybe make him 5.35 inches or something, or 5.4. That's how much he should be. Because it's just really rough how people are having to compare the figures. My perfect figure, by the way, and I did say this in my original Android 18 video before I had to re-record it 2 more times. My perfect figure would be maybe demonical fits height, maybe slightly taller, like half a centimeter to a centimeter taller, but demonical fits height. Demonical fits biceps, because I really like his biceps because they are bigger than Kamione's. But I actually would take Kamione's forearms, because I actually like Kamione's forearms more than demonical fits. And then for just the body and the look, I would take Kamione as well. So the height of demonical, the body of Kamione, the colours of Kamione personally as well, but the biceps of demonical as well. So I will say that. My perfect Super Saiyan. So that would be my perfect overall Gogeta. But if I was a figure company, like I'm a third party company, these are the heights that I would do, and this is what I said in the Facebook post. Goku, because you kind of constantly do the heights and stuff, because if you make them too accurate, it might be too big for dioramas. So I would scale them down slightly, because I understand scaling stuff down, but there's no point scaling them down to be the same height as their regular fucking forms. That's stupid. So my perfected, and I'm doing air quotes when I'm saying this, my perfected Super Saiyan 4 Goku would be about 6.1 inches. 6.1 inches, which I think is fair. My regular Goku would be about 5.9 inches. My perfected Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta would be about 5.4 inches, with his regular being about 5.3-ish. And my perfected Gogeta, as I've said, would be about 5.9 to 5.10 inches. Kind of like the original. I would say 5.10 inches would make more sense. So 5.10 for Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, 6.1 inches for Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and about 5.4, maybe even 5.5 inches for Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. As much as I do love this Vegeta, you're awesome. He just needs to be slightly scaled up if you're really talking accuracies. But it's really awkward for people. I know people, it's awkward in the figure community, because there is fighting back and forth about, oh, Kamione have missed out on this one, or Kamione never missed, they're the best, or vice versa. But the same with demonical. People are like, demonical never miss, or demonical have destroyed this one, they've done bad on this one. So it is really awkward for the heights. So hopefully that kind of covers everything to deal with the Super Saiyan 4 heights. In the future, now there is actually another company that's coming out with a Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. I think it's GM maybe. They're also making a Gogeta. Or is it DKO? It's got similar arm joints to how DKO are making their Ultra Instinct Goku later in the year. So there is another Gogeta coming, and he looks very tall. The Gogeta, let me actually do a drawing tab. Empty. The Gogeta that I saw, and I'll just use white for this. The Gogeta that I saw by GM, and it was next to like the regular Super Saiyan SHF. He was like all the way up to like here, like the shoulder. So he's going to be about, what's that, like 6 inches. Which is good height. I actually think whoever this company is have done a pretty decent height. Ish, if anything, maybe just a smidge shorter. Hopefully maybe that same studio that, as I said, it's either DKO or GM or something who are also making a Gogeta. If they make any other characters, if they make a Goku, please make the Goku maybe 6.1 to 6.2 inches, because that would be perfect. If they make a Vegeta, make the Vegeta maybe like 5.4 to 5.5 inches. And I'm talking Super Saiyan 4, by the way. Not regular Gokus or Vegetas or Gogetas. Just they're Super Saiyan 4 versions, because the Super Saiyan 4 is taller, is buffer. You know, stuff like that. Hopefully that slightly clears how weird heights are when it comes to action figures. Because they are really awkward and weird. There has been a little bit of conflict in the communities, on Facebook, on Reddit, a little bit on Discord as well, just on how the height works and stuff, because it's awkward. And it is awkward. So hopefully this kind of clears stuff up. If you want to ask questions, you can. If you got anything extra to tell me, like if I've said something wrong, you can tell me. That's perfectly okay. These are just from heights that what I've seen and how I've tried to compare. Hopefully you give me respect for my graph. I was originally going to use AI. And I actually did start using AI. But it was bad, so I decided to just man up and actually start making my own graph. With the best of my ability to crop and stuff as well. With by trying to line them up. So hopefully this is good enough. Hopefully it helps you understand and stuff like that. As I said, if you've got anything to tell me, you perfectly can. It's okay. Maybe give me, if you make it to this point in the video and you're at the end and you listen the whole way through and you're hearing this, tell me what your preferred height would be in inches and centimeters for the characters. Like, you know, like when, like, a regular Goku, to me, a regular Goku should be 5.9 inches, right? Regular Goku, 5.9 inches, which means that Gohan should be 5.95, because Gohan is actually slightly taller than Goku. So Gohan should be 5.95 inches, so that would roughly make Gohan the same height as the original demonical fit and Kamione Super Saiyan 4s. Not Akmione, the demonical fit Super Saiyan 4s as well, because Kamiones is the same originals by SHF. But hopefully that breaks stuff up. I should also add that Kamione, they scale their figures to their own products, so their Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is actually taller than their own Super Saiyan Gogeta or Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta. So I should actually add that as well. But yeah, tell me below what your character's heights would be and how you would scale them, because it's really awkward and stuff like that. It's awkward because you don't want to make things too tall. Obviously, we have more figures with the third-party community coming in the future, and maybe that will help us gauge heights. Like I said, we've got there's another Gogeta coming by another company. We have ZL Broly coming soon, the normal base form and Super Saiyan form, so maybe that could help us. We have WP Studios, obviously they have Jason Raycum, maybe that could help if we add their heights in to how tall they are. And then they're making Burter as well, who should be taller than Raycum, because from what I remember, Burter is an absolute behemoth in height. and stuff, and also Piccolo's. I'm not too sure what Piccolo's height is. Piccolo's a giant, right? I'm not too sure how his figure scale though, because I don't own a Piccolo. But if you would like me, if you want to give me that information, you can, because maybe using other information from these other third-party characters, from Piccolo to everyone else, we can help grade and make the perfect height for each figure. That could be a good video one day. I go through every single figure: Goku, Gohan, Vegeta, Gogeta, Vegito, Raikou, Ginyu, Zamasu, Goku Black, Videl, Bulma, Krillin, the androids, just every single character in the Dragon Ball verse that's maybe getting a character, and we try and perfect their height to what it should be if we're trying to accurately scale it. Because then we've got giant characters as well, like we have Shenron coming. We've got like two or three different companies making Shenron. So he's got to be really tall as well, because, oh yeah, as a quick reminder, because Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta goes to about Shenron's neck. Like the bottom of his neck. Like, you know, your collarbone, he goes to about there, from what I can remember in my head. So that tells you how tall Shenron is. And as I said, if Goku in the anime is about 6'6", and Gogeta's slightly shorter, like 6'2", maybe 6'1", 6'3", that means that Shenron is like 7 foot to 7 foot like 5. He is a behemoth. An absolute behemoth, which would make him like 7.5 inches. He's got to be way too big for people's setups. So that's why you have to slightly scale every character's height down to what their height is. Okay? So it's an awkward thing in the community. Hopefully this was understandable. I apologise if it seemed jumbled. I just hope it's understandable for a decent amount of stuff. As I said, let me know below any inaccuracies. The heights on screen are mostly accurate. Ignore the 5.10s. It's about 5.95. Ignore the 5.10s. It's just that that's why rough. Except for in camiones to SHF is awkward though. So it's because in one picture it was actually slightly shorter, but in another it was kind of the same. So that's why that's got 5.86 to 5.9. But yeah, hopefully this video kind of helps with the height and inaccuracies. As I said, I'll gladly be down to try and do a video where I go through every single character in the series on what their height should be. Because as I said, it's going to be hard for people's setups and stuff. But cool, awesome. I hope this slightly helped. I hope the time and effort I try to put into this, instead of using AI, I did this. I decided to properly put in the time and effort and made the characters. Try to draw the lines to the best of my ability. Got the light blue line, the green lines, got the yellow line right here, going to head to eye. Apologies if they don't seem too straight. The where they are supposed to be is correct. They might be a little bit squint and lopsided. That's just the way it was when I was trying to thingy them in. But they are basically 90% accurate. But hopes to the future we get a little bit better proper height increases. Obviously we want to see more characters, not that just the same characters getting repeated, but it would be nice in the future to get more slightly accurate, more heights. It's an awkward situation, I know. Hopefully this jumbled up video helps though. I'm actually filming this not long after my Android 18 video because I wanted my thoughts to be out. My voice is actually still slowly dying on me because of the wasted video I did on Android 18. If you didn't know, I filmed an hour-long straight of me yapping about Android 18, Super Saiyan 4, and a bunch of other characters like Goku Black as well that's coming out, and ZL, Broly and stuff. I did like a big yap session, I lost my voice, and then I had to re-record it like 2 more times because my AMD wasn't recording my mic, but I managed to fix it now, and then I had to start recording my voice with OBS over a voiceover, but then my PC crashed, so then I had to record it again. So apologies if this video was scrambled. It's because I'm just doing it on the same day, and I wanted my thoughts to be out there. So I apologise if it seems like scrambled and stuff, and nothing like that. So I do apologise. But I hope my time and my effort and what I'm trying to persuade like what I'm trying to say. I hope it affects you in a good way. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say in a meaningful way. Hopefully it doesn't sound too stupid. But thank you very much for watching, to the people who did. Have a nice rest of your day or night. Just carry on collecting the figures that you like, you know. We're going to have disagreements in the community because it's awkward to get accurate. We have different companies working on different things. But yeah, ups to the future, man. Ups to the future.